6 cost champions have appeared. So the way 6 costs work, starting at the anomaly, 6 cost champions have a chance to appear in your shop. That is independent of level. It has nothing to do with your level. That chance goes up each round. So the longer the game goes, the higher that chance it goes. And that is increased when you hit level 10. If you hit level 10, you are more likely to see them. Stage 7 also, they show up a lot more in stage 7. But there you go. These are very rare. You may not see one every game, but usually there's probably at least one person in the lobby who has one. And then to give you an idea about what these are, a 1-star 6 cost is about on par with a 2-star 4 cost, give or take. They have a lot more utility though, so they end up usually doing less damage than a 2-star 4 cost, but they have a lot of utility. So, and let's go over these real quick. First off is going to be the one that's probably the most popular here, which is Victor. Victor has Machine Herald, which converts all mana, attack speed, and attack damage into AP. So you can put a Deathblade on him. But what that means is Shojin isn't good on him because he can't generate mana. Like, you cannot accelerate his cast. His cast is locked in, and it's going to happen around 9 seconds into combat, and again around 28 seconds into combat, give or take. You can't make him cast quicker. It's impossible. You can just give him lots and lots of power, though. His passive is his auto attacks are a Death Ray that shreds, deals a little bit of true damage, but the shred and the sunder is the big value here. So like if you didn't build Last Whisper or Ionic Spark, Victor will provide that. And then his active is the coolest spell in the game. It's a big map-wide AoE stun that lifts up all enemies for 2 seconds and then slams them down, dealing some of their health as damage. Really good utility. Like I said, I put Victor in every comp I can find him in. The champ's really, really good. So, yeah. Then there's Warwick. Warwick's passive is he will devour enemies that drop below 12% health, which heals him for 400 health and granting him 50 mana. And he can do this with any range. So, for example, like let's say your Maddie snipes their backline down to below 12%. He'll dash away and eat them, which is really nice. His mana bar is 100, so if he gets 2 of those, he's right back to full mana, which is nice. And then his active is he becomes Blood Frenzied. Blood Frenzy is a unique state for him where he's basically moving faster, has Omnivamp, attack speed, and is constantly just going rah, 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 rah. Pretty cool. The interesting thing about Warwick is he is a experiment. So experiment now has another thing to play. His experiment bonus here is on kill, stun enemies adjacent to dead target for 1 second. I'm not a big fan of his experiment bonus per se, but I like giving him other experiment bonuses like Mundo's. So that works out pretty well. The other thing is to get your expectations in mind. Warwick is not going to top your meters a lot, but the amount of healing he can do between the Omnivamp and the Blood Hunter can be a lot. So if you give him some pretty, like Titans is really good on him. You can have him actually be pretty tanky and pretty durable, which is pretty nice. So yeah. He's probably the hardest of the 6 costs to use, though. My shot call here is that he will be the least popular, and players will be asking for him to be buffed, but we'll see. And then there's Mel. Mel is the Banished Mage, and the way Mel works is Mel has a 40 mana cost. Her spell, she'll dash to a nearby hex, gain a shield on herself and 2 nearby allies, and then 50% of the damage blocked by those shields is stored. So let's say she casts those shields, and everyone takes the damage. That's 900 stored, or excuse me, 450, because 50% of that. And then she also shoots a bunch of shots. Every third cast, she does a bunch of damage plus the stored damage. So if her shields are effective, she does more damage. She sort of converts that back, which is pretty cool, into a big AoE cast. So she's definitely a blue buff plus Nashers plus AP item that can be really fun. Now, the thing about her passive here is if she has cast 12 times since you got her, so you can't just buy her and throw her in and get this, but if you got her to cast 12 times, at that point, she'll protect you. And so if you ever drop below 1 player health, she saves you, sort of a last stand. When she does that, she also gains 10% damage amp, which makes her even stronger. So she's pretty cool. Does require items to do well, but it doesn't quite have as much utility as, say, Victor, but generally can do a little bit more damage and pretty fun. And like I said, having that last stand to protect you can be pretty nice. So there you go. There's our 6 costs.